Post-game, Irving likened the city to a scorned girlfriend.
I'm sorry. That is a wild image. That is a wild image. All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. It's been a minute, hasn't it? I'm finally feeling a little bit like caught up on life, so I'm gonna try and sneak in some of these After Darks again, like I used to, because I definitely miss it. And also, it gives me a chance to react to some stuff that I normally wouldn't, like this that popped up. This is from Secret Base, which, if you guys know me, it's one of my favorite channels for sports like quick documentaries. You know what I mean? This one, they're going to be covering what's the title? Kyrie Irving's beef with Boston is the story of a Mercer. Ooh, I don't know that word. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Star who crossed a fervent fan base. What the hell kind of a title is that? What a video title. I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. Yeah. Anyways, this is what we're watching. I didn't read the whole title before starting this recording. All I saw was Kyrie Irving's beef, Boston, and I'm like, yep, I definitely wanna check this out. But I didn't actually read through the whole thing. Anyways, you guys, this one will be covering the story of Kyrie and Boston, which is going to be interesting to me because I have heard Kyrie's testimonial about it, and he's talked about it on Twitch, on his Twitch channel, quite a bit. And apparently there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we didn't really know about, like in Kyrie's personal life, like with his grandfather passing away and stuff. And not saying it makes it right to do what he did in Boston, you know, saying that he was going to stay there, but then all of a sudden just disappearing and going to New Jersey. It is what it is, but I'm curious because I've heard his side of the story. I'm very curious to see all the stuff that I missed out on. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to link the original video down below for you guys in the description box. So if you guys want to check it out, cool. If you guys haven't noticed, I released a ridiculous merch store. It was a joke. I was just creating a funny product for my friend because, you know, the Lakers lost and he's a big LeBron fan. So I was making him that LeBron sitting on the toilet water bottle because I wanted to give it to him the next time I saw it. And then it just, one thing led to another, and next thing you know, merch store. So just in case you guys were interested or you wanted to troll one of your friends or something like that, check it out. Yeah, let's get right into this. All right. Like the video if you haven't done it. It helps out a ton, and let's see what the story is.
Starting in the 2017-18
Real quick, thank you all for being here. I miss doing After Darks.
season, Kyrie Irving was supposed to be...
Okay, I ruined the intro, didn't I?
Starting in the 2017-18 season, Kyrie Irving was supposed to be Boston's guy. Their point guard, their leader, their franchise face. The guy who got him a ring, or two, or many. It was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
But, you know what they say, if what we suppose always hit the nose, nobody would choose to have minor deviated septum surgery during the playoffs. Because Kyrie did that.
She's my favorite, by the way. She's hilarious.
Secret Base has a Patreon. Something new every Monday. From early releases, to live streams, to episodes of Pretty Good. You might have the time of your life if you subscribe. A risk worth taking? I think so, but I'm pretty biased. Now back to the beef. In July of...
Is that what I say about the memberships? You might have the time of your life. No, that's false advertisement.
17, tired of being LeBron's sidekick, Kyrie Irving requested a trade from the Cavs to anywhere he could be the focal point and leader of a team.
Mm-hmm.
How about Boston? Asked the Celtics brass.
Imagine if you stayed in Boston, guys. Like, just the big picture of where Boston is now. Man.
They really wanted Irving. Had to give up a lot to get him. First, they traded away fan favorite 5'9" point guard Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
And to just say fan favorite undersells it. Thomas finished 5th in MVP voting and led the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals the previous season.
I know, now he can't get a damn job, man. The Suns gave him like a 10-day contract, and then he was gone. I was kind of hoping we'd give him a job.
In that postseason run, he played through a chipped tooth, a hip injury, and the absolutely tragic death of his sister. And the Celtics just traded him away.
I know.
To get Kyrie, they'd take the PR hit, the morality hit, and any other body blows coming their way. There was one more big one. They had to throw in their unprotected 2018 first-round pick, which was not something they were willing to part with for other big names on the market. But Kyrie was going to be worth it all. And who was Kyrie going to lead? A fairly talented group. Boston brought on Gordon Hayward to complete their big three. Plus, they had 2 number 3 draft picks.
Uh-huh. That's where it is. Yep. Right there. So if you would have stuck around...
For their future. So, here we go. 2018 season is gonna... Uh-oh. But hey, Kyrie was handling the leading man role pretty well.
Yeah, he was.
Uh-oh. So...
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's a disappointing season for Boston fans, right? Wrong. Sorry to lead you on like that, but it's the only way I feel alive. The Celtics almost made the finals thanks to a rookie, a second-year player, subs, and third options. So next season, with Kyrie healthy and these guys?
Right?
Damn. Quick aside, Kyrie wasn't on the sideline for Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals because of deviated septum surgery, which didn't sit right with some fans. That's a minor surgery that could be scheduled for any time, they said. But no need to read into that for too long because Kyrie soon went out of his way to say he was re-signing with Boston in free agency the following summer.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, isn't sooner better when you're talking about recovering from a surgery? Even if you're about to go into the off season, like, you still need recovery time. I wouldn't use that as a stain against Kyrie unless there's something that gets revealed later that makes me take back every word I'm saying right now. But just this on the surface level, like, I would definitely say, yeah, screw Game 7 because you're not going to play. Go get your operation, right? Because they're just talking about him not being on the bench. I don't know.
This is just a season ticket holder event. It's not an ESPN decision special or anything like that.
Yeah. I
shared it
remember this.
with some of my teammates as well as the
This is where it went wrong for him. He shouldn't have done this if he was considering leaving.
organization and everyone else in Boston. If you guys will have me back, I plan on re-signing here next year.
Boom!
So, to summarize, going into the 2019 season, Boston's future was blindingly bright, Kyrie liked Boston, and they liked him. That's not beef. Why is this a beef history video? Does she not know what beef is? Does she think it's just food? No, I don't. This became beef fairly quickly. It all started in the terrible 2019 season. It was a case of too much talent. The heroes of the 2018 playoffs had to take a backseat. Terry Rozier was immediately relegated to backup point guard with no questions asked. Come on, it's Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
Scoot on over. Jaylen Brown went from scoring 18 points per game in the playoffs to losing his starting spot.
Oh, wow.
Tatum wanted to be the guy. Why should he have to wait for Kyrie? And why should Kyrie have to let one happy postseason take away his destiny of not sharing the spotlight? The Celtic locker room was toxic. And
That's unfortunate because that could have worked between those two. Because you got a shooting guard and a point guard. Play your roles. It could work together.
the guy who was supposed to be their leader just exacerbated the toxicity. In mid-January, the Celtics...
Hold up. What did it say? Irving's mood swings often left them treading lightly and... Oh, okay. I got you.
just exacerbated the toxicity.
It was uncomfortable.
In mid-January, the Celtics found themselves on the verge of losing to the sub-500 Magic. Kyrie argued with Coach Brad Stevens about the last shot play call, perhaps because the ball was going to Tatum and not him. And Tatum missed, so maybe the veteran leader had a point. What's he doing? Berating Hayward for passing to Tatum? Which was likely the play call? Huh. Well,
Oh,
look,
damn.
I'm not going to say...
I never saw this. This is a bad look. This is a really bad look. I mean, props for wanting the ball at the end. I usually complain about people not wanting the ball at the end, but still, you got to follow what the coach said. This is better than what Pippen did versus the Knicks in '94, because Pippen refused to even get out there on the court. But this is still a really bad look. Very bad look.
Here and say, I know how to lead an NBA basketball team. Post-game, Irving blamed the young guys, a message he had already delivered through the media on previous occasions. I might know some better ways to lead an NBA team. Young Celtic Jaylen Brown responded, basically saying Kyrie's comments were not helpful. And maybe that got through to the point guard, because a few days later...
Wow. Okay.
Irving said he wasn't going to publicly criticize his teammates again.
Well, why do you got to say that publicly? You know? Just stop doing it.
But then a few days after that, he called LeBron to apologize because he now saw how hard it was to be a leader to young guys who just don't get it. Which is, again, publicly criticizing the young guys. The phone wasn't tapped. Kyrie told the press what he...
Wow. Okay, but Irving's phone call to James recently, one where Irving apologized for, in his own words, being that young player that wanted everything at his fingertips. Wow. So yeah, he's talking about Brown and Tatum in this, obviously. Dang, I never knew this.
He said. In February, Kyrie was asked if he still planned to re-sign in free agency. He said he was reconsidering that decision.
I don't know anyone's shit. Ask me in July. Okay, so he switches stance regarding the commitment after saying he will plan on resigning. Yeah. Okay.
Just said it more succinctly. A couple weeks later, at All-Star Weekend, Irving was caught on tape talking to Kevin Durant in a plotting a future super team together type way.
I hear these guys are still like best buds. I saw once on Twitch they were playing 2K together. It was pretty funny. It's a video of me and... Let's see if she talks.
Kyrie denied it all. So, okay.
She's not. It's a video of me and one of my best friends talking, Kyrie said, and then it turns out to be a dissection of a free agency meeting. Do you get that? Okay, yeah. No, I get this too. Let's see. Then I'm asked questions about that. That's what disconnects me from all that shit. No, it's true. Because they have each other's numbers. You know they can talk privately whenever they want. So the two of them are BSing in public, joking around, having fun because they're friends. And immediately they're thinking, they're talking about free agency. Wouldn't they do that in private, though, as opposed to publicly while they're being filmed? So I get Kyrie's frustration here. I know I'm going to be bouncing back and forth because, I just call it as it is. So if I support somebody in a decision, I'll support them. If I think it's ridiculous, I won't. I'll do that with my friends even. We all need a guy. We all need someone like that around. I need someone like that around.
Maybe nothing was there. Let's jump ahead to the playoffs.
Okay.
The Celtics were bounced in the second round. Irving played like he was trying to prove he was the team leader.
37 of 104. Wow, he's really matured, hasn't he? I forgot how bad this was. He's become such a mature player now.
Was good for the team or not. He had more shots than points in the series. After Game 4, a reporter asked him about his shooting slump, and he replied, "Who cares? A lot of people? I don't know specifically. I don't know their names." And after Game 5...
That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. Oh, man. I missed a lot of basketball this year. Actually, I missed a lot of it. A lot of the narratives going around. I knew Kyrie was in Boston, but I didn't know how ugly this was.
Boston had little doubt they'd lost the mercurial point guard. And well, what do you know? Maybe the media wasn't so terrible for reading into that All-Star Weekend tunnel conversation. And yes, it's true, they still could have been talking about something else in that tunnel, but they weren't.
Okay, so Kyrie didn't respect his coach in Boston. That's why when the Brooklyn thing happened and Steve Nash was the coach, that's why Kyrie had that stance of, we don't even need a coach. We can take turns coaching. because he really did have that mindset of I'm smarter than the coach, and I'm not supporting that mentality whatsoever.
Boston fans felt betrayed and livid. He lied about staying, or perhaps changed his mind, but that can count as a lie if you're mad. He played badly, and now all of a sudden there's a new super team in the East poised to vault over the Celtics and make them irrelevant. Kyrie Irving might have just burst their championship bubble. At the Nets media day, Kyrie said he failed as a leader in Boston because of the death of his grandfather. But Celtic Nation didn't let themselves get distracted by death in the family talk. They were ready for him to return to TD Garden. It was supposed to happen November 27th, 2019. But due to an injured shoulder, Irving didn't make the trip, which kind of just made fans madder.
Wow, man. Yeah, I considered that whole thing in Brooklyn just to be a complete failure. And then it just happened here in Phoenix too, even worse. At least they were like making the playoffs out there.
Luckily, they found it was still satisfying to chant Kyrie sucks even if he wasn't there. And word
Wait, what? Even injured and absent, Kyrie Irving. Oh my God. So, yeah, like she said, that's crazy.
Get back to the injured point guard, as evidenced by his essay of an Instagram post. You don't have to read the whole thing. He kind of calls fans and the media ignorant and obtrusive, and insists he's a person, which, okay, yes, fine, that's true. Irving finally returned to Boston about a year and a pandemic later for a preseason game. And he burned sage around TD Garden to cleanse the space.
Yes, he did.
He said it wasn't personal. He'd done it before. It's part of his Native American.
So I missed a lot of 2019, a lot of personal reasons, and it was just a year. I really only caught a couple of games, by 2020 I was back in full force watching basketball obsessively.
American heritage, and actually he plans to do it before every game that season. A search of all newspapers printed in the US and Canada during the 2021 NBA season did not reveal any other instance of Kyrie burning sage before a game.
Interesting. I thought it was more of a ritual he did, but it was just to get the bad aura out of the building for Boston, huh?
Boston and Brooklyn met in the opening round of the 2021 playoffs. Asked about facing the presumably hostile crowd in his return to Boston, Irving kinda called Celtics fans racist.
I think that's when it started, the whole Boston is racist thing.
Now, Boston fans do have a reputation for being racist.
Yeah. There's definitely, I won't. Yeah.
There have been some ugly incidents across the city's sports.
Yes, it is.
Kyrie didn't get into specifics, which is fine and doesn't mean that he didn't experience any specifics. And the Boston media agreed with that sentiment. But they also brought up the idea that maybe he was using the city's reputation to try and proactively quiet fans. After all, the Boston Globe points out...
I'll say I've been to New York. I've never been to Boston, so I won't speak on it being racist or not. I don't know firsthand. Feel free to talk about it down below as long as we keep it, respectful. If not, YouTube will go in and delete all the messages anyway, so, we got to keep it somewhat respectful.
Out, the only time he spoke about racism while he was a Celtic was to say he had not experienced it. That comment was in March 2019 after a fan was banned for life for yelling slurs at DeMarcus Cousins.
Interesting.
Now,
okay. So he defended it until he had a reason to use it as an excuse.
Just because it wasn't directed at him doesn't mean it wasn't still offensive and off-putting and terrible.
I agree.
Yes, we were racist, but not toward you argument is a weak one.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
But Kyrie could still be trying to avoid booze.
Wonder if he's trying to use the city's enduring shame to manipulate the crowd into leaving him alone altogether. That's a possibility.
It wasn't just the Boston press who doubted Kyrie's motives. Jaylen Brown, the most vocal critic on the team, considered that possible.
Yeah, okay, so Brown says, it bothers me if the construct of racism is used as a crutch or an opportunity to execute a personal gain. Agreed. 100%. I'm not sure that's the case, but racism is bigger than a playoff game. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Possibility
Well
as well.
said.
Fans were offended either way. They didn't like being defined by their worst moments. The plate was set for a beefy series. Kyrie sucks and F you Kyrie chants were the soundtrack of Game 3, the Celtics' first home game, but Irving said the jeers weren't too bad. He was cool with it, though his stat line made it look like fans got to him a bit. Game 4, he played much better in the face of Celtic Nation. At the end of the game, Kyrie stomped on the Celtics logo as a sort of revenge taunt. And
I mean,
then,
if he wants the hatred to go away, he shouldn't have done that. I'm just going to say it. But like that, he's like embracing the hate. So I didn't know he was complaining about it so much. That's the thing. I always saw that clip and I was like, yeah, all right, so he's down with it. He's good with it. But if and behind the scenes, if he's like complaining about the hate, well, he's antagonizing the fans at this point, you know? Same way, same thing that happened to his buddy LeBron back then when he left Cleveland the first time, because that's just the way it goes. You break a city's heart, and they're gonna remember it for a while.
a fan threw a water bottle that grazed Irving's head.
Okay, that's stupid.
This was bad.
Yeah, kick that guy out.
And the city had to admit, yeah, throwing things at players' heads is not great.
No, ban that guy. Yeah, ban that guy from all the games at that point. That's way too far.
Due to refusing a COVID vaccine, Irving didn't return to Boston until about 9 months later. And it seemed fans were like, cool, enough time has passed from the water bottle thing, we can pretend it didn't happen. Because they were unrepentant. Post-game, Irving likened the city to a scorned girlfriend.
I'm sorry. That is a wild image. That is a wild image right there. I'm looking here. Obviously over here. Sorry. That's crazy. You've got some intensity too. You look like you're shooting a nice jumper. Decent form.
Repentant. Post-game, Irving likened the city to a scorned girlfriend, ignoring the fact that he kind of promised to marry the girl when she didn't even ask.
Yeah?
Okay, 2022 playoffs, we got another Boston-Brooklyn opening series. Before Game 1, Irving said that Celtic fans should move forward, get over it, it's been 3 years. The fans did not take his advice. Nor did Kyrie
that
himself.
Shirt. Hold up.
The fans
Oh my god. Wow. I'm so glad I'm watching this.
did not take his advice. Nor did Kyrie himself.
I remember that.
If you've got kids in the room, switch to headphones for this next part. I'm not a body language expert, so forgive me, but I believe after hitting this contested shot in the third, Irving is telling the crowd, "F you, I'm better than your beloved Jason Tatum." And it's not totally clear here in the fourth, but if I'm reading him correctly, he's saying something like,
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this one too. The behind the back double FU.
F you, this is not bothering me at all, it would never make me cry.
I remember.
Post-game, he was more direct.
What did he say? I think he said, suck my D.
Post-game, he was more direct.
Yep, I think so.
Unfortunately for Kyrie, it seems
Let me
all
know
his
if I got that wrong in the comments, guys. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
efforts didn't harm Celtic Nation's morale. The following season, Irving demanded a trade from the Nets, also known as the super team that wasn't, and Boston fans delighted in Schadenfreude. Though it was a shame he was off to Dallas and would be in a different conference. He's a great villain. Or was it a shame? Because the beef was on the big stage.
Yep, I know. I can't believe this. One, I can't believe it happened. Two, I can't believe how Kyrie played. Oh, I'm still kind of bummed out about it. All right, we're still human at the end of the day.
Series, Irving.
I wasn't my best self during that time. When I look back on it, I just see it as a time where I learned how to let go of things and learn how to talk through my emotions. Yeah, I do remember this. Yeah.
Sounded like a different guy. He took
He
accountability
has
and
matured a lot since he's been in Dallas, to be fair.
said he was more mature and better able to handle his emotions now. Jaylen Brown seemed to forgive Irving with an "oh well, nobody's perfect" shrug.
Let's see. What does he really say? It's life, and life things happen. People learn, grow, and move on. It's part of the journey that we're all on. I'm not perfect, and neither are none of these guys, and neither are you. We all go through stuff, and he was going through stuff while he was here. Now he seems to be in a better place. Yeah, that's a very, very mature way to think of it, and that's also kind of how I saw it. Like, he was his worst self for those, 3 years. He was the worst version of himself, and I think he knows it, especially now that he's probably the best version of himself.
So, I guess the beef's over? No way, said Celtics fans. When the Celtics swept the...
For me, it's about the journey of an individual. So, if Kyrie continued to be who he was and continued to be terrible like that, yeah, I would not. You would never see me, supporting Kyrie at all on this channel. I would, compliment his skills, but as a person, I'd be like, nah, he ain't him. But when someone goes through a dark time like that, and then I see them mature and grow stronger and then start to mentor younger people, I like it. I really think that's the way, is to learn from your mistakes, accept the accountability, and pass on that knowledge to the next gen. I really think that's the right way to do it. So hopefully he keeps this up. He stays on this path, because he seems like a much happier dude now.
The Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, fans chanted "F you, Kyrie" in anticipation of these finals.
But just because he matured doesn't mean the fans have to. That's just the way it goes.
Dallas hadn't even won the Western Conference yet. Game 1, fans brought a blow-up doll superimposed with Kyrie Irving's face and threw it around the crowd, chanting "F you, Kyrie."
Oh my God.
That's a sex doll, right? I'm not going to Google it.
I don't know. That's just a blow-up. If someone's putting their... in that... Wow. I sure hope that's not what it's for.
Irving wasn't great, and it could have been because of the crowd, though Jrue Holiday's defense was pretty good, too.
That's true.
After the game, Kyrie said the crowd wasn't so bad, which Boston considered a taunt. Next game, they put his quote up...
The crowd is trying to get me out of my element. Uh-huh.
On the Jumbotron to inspire even more boos and screaming, and I guess it was implied that nobody should throw anything. Before Game 5, Kyrie wasn't so quietly repentant. And then the...
Yeah, he's calling them a cult, but it's not. It's not. This is what happens when you rip the heart out of a city. They'll remember.
Celtics won the finals. It's official. Their championship bubble...
I know that it's impossible because they're both in the Eastern Conference, but could you imagine if in 2011 the NBA Finals was somehow, I know it can't happen, was Cleveland versus Miami? What would happen? The same thing would happen. They'd be having freaking LeBron James sex dolls passed around and hanging them and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Same thing would happen. You can't rip the heart out of the city and expect them to move on, especially if you're talking shit. And Kyrie was talking trash, he's feeding into it.
Was not burst when Kyrie ditched them. They got the ring while the fickle point guard found his fingers bare year after year, except for the ring he got with LeBron, which wasn't what he wanted to be his legacy. So it seems clear Boston won this beef, but declaring a winner doesn't end anything. The winner can gloat. They're burning a Kyrie jersey in the streets after the 2024 title.
Cox? Am I tripping? Oops. Am I tripping? Looks like it says, anyways.
Kyrie will know no peace in or around TD Garden. He's too good of a villain. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thank you to our Patreon subscribers. You can see their names here. And here? And here? Wow, that's a lot. Seems like a cool club I'd want to be a part of. How can I join? Oh, you have to subscribe. Oh, right. But seriously, thank you for watching, whether you subscribe or not. You're great. I'm Clara Morris for Secret Base. Good night and good game.
Oh, man, that was great. Yep, there it is. That was a great video. I gotta admit, I learned a ton, and I'm glad because, like I said, I missed a lot of that time where Kyrie was a Celtic. I hear all the stories, you know, but I never really got the full breakdown like that. So I'm really thankful I watched this one. Curious what your guys' thoughts are, because I know there's a huge divide when it comes to Kyrie Irving. A lot of people love him, and then a lot of people hate him. He's a very divisive person, or I should just say a very divisive basketball player. But I always kind of liked him. But to be fair, I missed his worst years. I mean, most of his worst years. Because what happened in Brooklyn was I don't know, man. Like, in the moment with everything that was going on with the pandemic and everything, like, a lot of crazy stuff happened during that time. So for me, it's hard to judge him based on that time and the decisions that he made for the reasons that he made. It's hard for me to hate the guy. It really is. I understand what was going on in his head. But the stuff that he did in Boston, I wouldn't be so quick to forgive. So the fact that I missed out on that live in real time. So like in my head, it was like Kyrie was hooping in Cleveland. He wanted to leave LeBron and go out and do it on his own. Went to Boston, he hooped, but you know, for whatever reason, he left to go team up with Kevin Durant. But that's where it is. I missed all those details of what happened in Boston and why he went to go team up with Kevin Durant. To me, I was just like, yeah, why the hell not? Go for it, you know? But I might be a Kyrie Irving apologist. I'm not sure. Call me out on it in the comments if I am, because that's not cool if that's what I'm doing. But it's not like I'm like, you know, a huge fan of the man or anything like that. But man, I just love watching him play basketball. If that's fair to say, hopefully, because I'm saying it. Like, I really love watching him on the court. Like, his ball handling, his shooting, like, he's just a completely unique player. I've never seen anybody like him when he came into the league. I've never seen anything quite like him, you know, now that he's getting older. It's just something different. And it's the closest thing to street ball mixed with NBA on a high level that I've seen in a very long time. You know, there are obviously other examples like Jason Williams and who the hell am I forgetting right now? Somebody really, really obvious. But anyways, you guys get the drift. I've seen this before, but he's been doing it at an extremely high level, and it's great to watch. That's all. So I might sound like a Kyrie apologist. The truth is, I just really like watching him hoop. You know, it's like kind of like how I feel about Ant-Man right now. Like, I don't know who he is on a personal level. You know, he might be a POS, he might be a great man. I don't know, but I do enjoy watching him play. You know, good hooper. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you thought about this video. I'm really curious what your opinions are on Kyrie Irving. You know, if you could break it down to like two things in the comments, like Kyrie the basketball player and then Kyrie the man. Like, I'm really curious to see how you guys feel, and I'd like to gauge you guys to see if we're kind of similar on this, or if I'm way off base, because this isn't something I'm hard, like I have a hard stance on, but I'm genuinely curious. But anyways, the way that she shouted out everybody, I think I should do it too. Channel members, shout out to you guys. RightHandKam, Big Wingston, Made Zio2, I Set the Tone, Keith Brazell, Samwise Sam 1310, Radio Silence 85. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. Everybody else, I appreciate you all just the same. You guys are great. I can't wait to talk about this one specifically in the comments with you guys, because I really want to know where we stand on this. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the comments. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me on this After Dark comeback. And yeah, like the video if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. consider being a member or buying a ridiculous water bottle or a shirt down below in the store. And guys, I will see you tomorrow morning. And I'm not going to forget to say, be water, my friends. Peace.